All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. So recently we talked about our AEW Dynamite review. We also talked about my Thursday Night Wrestling preview, which consists of Ring of Honor, National Wrestling Alliance, and Impact Wrestling. And next, we're going to dig into Trick Williams and Jordynne Grace issue open challenges. But before I move on to anything, remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at GSMCPodcast.net. Leave an opinion. Tell me, let me know in the chat what you like about the show so far. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you want to hear. Perhaps as a wrestling, we go. Give me a question of the day. Just give me the city that you're listening from or the state or whatever. Tell me your feelings about some of the stuff I'm talking about. Ultimately, this podcast is a hell of a lot better with a lot of fan interaction. So just remember to hit up the GSMCpodcast.net, shoot your chat, put your question up on top so I can see it. And it ultimately helps the show, guys. And don't forget to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it. First, we're going to talk about my man, Trick Williams. Obviously, that's not Trick Williams. The way I kind of set it up, it was kind of like, all right, let's watch. We're going to see some Trick Williams action. No, Trick Williams issued an open challenge. He stated, through social media that he doesn't care. It's open to TNA. It's open to TNA. So I gathered a group of TNA guys that would be probably, that would be pretty cool to kind of see fight against Trick Williams. So yeah, let's go ahead and start off with Steve Macklin. Steve Macklin right now, he's kind of still like, kind of mid-card status. But imagine if he comes out and fights, Trick Williams at, I don't think he's going to be, no, at Battleground, he's fighting Ethan Page. But, that just also shows if he survives Ethan Page as well. So what if Ethan Page defeats Trick Williams at NXT Battleground? None of this even matters. So, obviously that'd be terrible. But yeah, so we have Steve Macklin. Steve Macklin could possibly be a suitor to challenge Trick Williams. Would be pretty awesome. The storyline would be a little bit different, but hey. Next we have Ryan Nemeth, the brother of Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler's brother. Dolph Ziggler's brother, he never made it to WWE, so he never really got a shot for WWE creative just to mess him around and have him lose matches against Goldberg in like 30 seconds. So I'm just kidding. I know, but like it's possible, but it's kind of a snowball's chance. But you've seen, and obviously Nick Nemeth still has a huge relationship with Triple H. They're still on great terms, and I think Triple H really wants to bring back Nick. He wants to really bring back Nick. He brings back his brother to potentially maybe have a tag team, or maybe Ryan Nemeth, maybe he's the real deal. Maybe he's the real deal. Maybe there's something special about him that we haven't all been noticing. And we're like, Triple H would be like, no, he's my guy. He's the next guy. Would definitely be good in the NXT development system. I'll tell you that much. All right, next we have the Broken Matt Hardy. The Broken Matt Hardy comes back to WWE to challenge Trick Williams for his NXT World Championship. One of these things, of course, that's kind of that would be a little weird. And like, obviously you have the storyline with Matt Hardy is kind of like the broken Matt Hardy. So you kind of have this dark, kind of ominous kind of glow against Trick Williams, who's totally, enthusiastic, charismatic. He has the fans on his side, the ultimate babyface. So it'd be kind of highly doubtful to see, Matt Hardy come back to, just to challenge him, but not to like to come back in general, but especially with that Forbidden Door open now. Next we have Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry, I think, would be pretty damn awesome to fight Trick Williams. I gotta be honest. I could see him actually be in WWE. I can see him doing his shenanigans on the WWE NXT night in and night out. So it wouldn't surprise me if you see Joe Hendry kind of cross that line. Even Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, on social media, took to social media to be like, hey, Hendry, like we should, we can create a song together or some shit like that. So, they're kind of pretty cool. I honestly would love to see it. Next we have the Frankie Kazarian. Frankie Kazarian, kind of like a loose nail, kind of like a loose gun kind of thing. Reminds me of like a kind of like a Randy Orton, maybe like an Adam Cole before he became Adam Cole and just joined the Undisputed Era inside the WWE. But there's no doubt in my mind that this guy has the talent to put him and Trick Williams will put on an amazing match. No BS. I think that match would be pretty badass to see. So, but obviously, is it likely? Probably not. But hey, you saw the TNA Knockouts champion, the Women's World Champion, go out on a limb and challenge the WWE NXT Women's World Champion. What difference would it make if you see the TNA World Champion Moose fight the WWE NXT World Heavyweight Champion? I don't know, not Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams. Damn, I don't, that's so crazy. But no, I think that would be a great match. Moose would definitely put Trick Williams to, to his limits. Trick Williams has always in his matches kind of seemed so powerful, so dominant, and I think against Moose, I think they would have a pretty evenly matched, to be honest. I think it'd be a pretty even match. I would honestly would love to say Trick Williams would win, but Moose is just so dominant. He's just so he's been the TNA champion for so damn long, man. For TNA standards, but no, definitely would be interesting to kind of see Moose, kind of go out there and do his thing. Next, we have Nick Nemeth. Dolph Ziggler comes back to the WWE, but he comes back under a different name to challenge Trick Williams for the WWE NXT World Championship. This is likely. This is probably one of the most likely scenarios, like I said before, with his relationship with Triple H inside the WWE. And, Triple H always kind of had better things for Nick or Dolph, however you kind of want to address him. But there's also the factor of him being in WWE before. He was kind of, excuse me, he was kind of messed around a little bit. Like he didn't really get that much, didn't really get the respect he really honestly deserved. And he's been in WWE NXT for a little bit already in his past. So that's maybe a reason why I'm kind of like steering away from it. And finally, Jeff Hardy's contract in AEW is going to expire. So he's going to be looking for a place to call home once again. But I hope when Jeff Hardy comes back, he comes back as Brother Nero, not Jeff Hardy. Because we've seen Jeff Hardy before, man. We've seen him come in and out of the WWE, with allegations and all that. I don't want to get into it. But I don't know. Can he really stay in WWE this time? This is also a question that kind of, is sparked. Obviously, if TNA and WWE become, one, you saw Jeff Hardy have a good, career in TNA, so it wouldn't really surprise me. His brother Matt's over there. So it seems, pretty likely. Imagine, hearing Jeff Hardy's theme or Jeff Hardy debuting on TNA Impact, and then you hear Trick Williams' theme. It'd be pretty crazy. It'd be pretty crazy. So let's go ahead and move on to the women's. The women's first, we have who's going to challenge Jordynne Grace, who's going to answer that open challenge issued by the TNA Knockouts World Champion, Ariana Grace. Possibly could be it. I feel like she definitely does need a storyline kind of heading moving forward. You kind of had her backstage with Jordynne Grace saying like, "Hey, we have the same last name, but obviously we're not part of the same family." And like it was just so it was so adorable, but kind of like naive at the same time. So I was like, dude, honestly, Jordynne Grace would the match with her would probably last like maybe 10 seconds. So I don't think Ariana Grace would really hold a snowball's chance against Jordynne Grace. Next, we have Blair Davenport. Blair Davenport has recently been drafted to WWE SmackDown. You've seen a couple of promos. You haven't really seen her in action just yet. But it'd be kind of interesting to kind of see her go from WWE NXT to answer Jordynne Grace's, open challenge for Against All Odds. But it'd be pretty interesting to kind of see Blair Davenport kind of spread her wings in that. And something big. It'd be absolutely big if you see Charlotte Flair come out, accept Jordynne Grace's challenge on TNA Impact soil. That would be absolutely monumental for professional wrestling, for the WWE, for TNA, and for Charlotte Flair as well. That'd be so cool. Obviously, Charlotte Flair, in the eyes of a WWE fan, has been absolutely powerful, absolutely dominant. There's no one in the ring that could, match up to her intensity. So obviously kind of seen, and you saw Ric Flair has had ties with TNA in the past. So I know that'd be crazy. Next we have Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria definitely is one of the rookies of the year in terms of WWE. It'd be kind of cool. It'd be kind of crazy to see her challenge Jordynne Grace, but she has so much animosity. She has so much spunk, and she's just so determined. Mi Chen could possibly be someone to challenge Jordynne Grace because she was once in TNA. You saw Jordynne Grace and her backstage on WWE NXT. They're like, oh, TNA for life. Like, like girlfriends. Like, cool. So it'd be kind of interesting to kind of see Mitchin go back that because I don't really think that she's going to win the WWE Women's North American Championship. So I don't know. I don't really see that really happening. Natalya, I was kind of advocating for this for the longest time, but Natalya still continues to kind of be fluctuating. I think she would build more momentum if she has a match with Jordynne Grace. But it's still open. It's still open. Jordynne Grace. You have Natalya, who's the Hart Foundation, the Owen Hart Cup in the AEW. their names worldwide. So it'd be pretty, kind of crazy to see. Next, we had Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley was seen admiring Jordynne Grace's, coveted TNA Knockouts World Champion. She was like looking at the gold. She's like, oh, I'm looking at it. I want it. Like, you know what I mean? Imagine if she answers the challenge. It seems pretty likely that she will. But in my opinion, I feel like WWE is like, yeah, we want one of the teenage women stars to come out here and make a shocking impact. And they're like, yeah, sure, but we want the same thing from you. We want a WWE woman superstar that's gonna make a big splash. We're like, okay, yeah, here's Tatum Paxley. Like, so that would be kind of, a little unfair in my opinion. Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton has recently been signed to Paradigm Agency, which is like kind of they're prominent in entertainment conglomerates and stuff like that. But it wouldn't surprise me if you see her come out like it's Tiffany time. Like I think it would make sense based on her attitude, based on like the way she just sticks her nose into businesses that doesn't concern her. Be like, you were never on TNA Impact. You don't even know what Impact Wrestling is. And she comes out, she's like, but it's Tiffany time. Like that would be pretty badass. And finally, we find out Becky Lynch signs a max contract with the WWE. She comes back to challenge Jordynne Grace. Oh, that'd be so crazy. Imagine Jordynne Grace standing in the ring, and all of a sudden you hear, oh, whoa. I think that'd be pretty cool. That's just my opinion. Tell me what you feel. Tell me how you feel about, tell me who you think's going to challenge Trick Williams or Jordynne Grace. We are rapidly running out of time. So moving forward, I want to touch on my Eric's Tag Team World Cup. We have 16. We have 8 matches tonight. Let's kind of narrow it down to the Elite 8. So hey, do not go anywhere.